So if I see a Thoth come out into lane, I'm gonna take a gander. Khepri goes ahead and dashes away, but I actually might be able to hit him with the very end of this ulti. Not gonna be able to actually hit him with it, but I do get myself in range of the auto attacks. Now I see. Hello everybody, we are here with your Mercury guide. So we're gonna be starting off with our traditional boom buzz dagger, and I'm going to be getting myself tier 2 boots here on Mercury, as well as a blink for the aggression. On Mercury, we're going to get these boots. We want to get them finished as fast as possible because we get that extra damage based off of our movement speed, so we get a lot of value for finishing those boots, both in the movement speed and damage department, and movement speed for us equals damage, which is also why the speed buff is going to be very important for us all game long. We're going to be starting off with our 1. This is the ability we grab at level 1, and also the ability that we are going to max out first. We will do the full jungle farm start. Let my solo laner know what start that we are doing. As you rank up this ability, the radius of the circle is going to get bigger, which is also very important because it'll just make it a lot easier to hit multiple people. So Mercury right now, not a bad jungler. The reason why he doesn't get played more often is really just because of Shell. The shell block stacks, there's often 2-3 shells in the game right now, and that means 4 to 6 block stacks that you have to burn through at the end of the game before you actually do any damage, and by that point they're probably have gotten away from you or they've killed you. So the auto attack jungler is just a little bit in general right now not as popular as the more ability based junglers, but Mercury does work really well with crit, and crit is still quite strong right now, especially the crit items that Mercury likes, like Rage and Wind Demon and stuff. Those are still very, very good, which does help out our boy Mercury. Now, because I've gone the boot start, this means that I actually preferably don't really want to fight early unless somebody makes a quite large mistake. I'm just trying to sit back and farm. As you can see, we just got absolutely wrecked right there from the Thoth damage. When you're doing the boot start, you're not really looking for an early kill. You're not looking for early fights. You're mostly just looking to farm and get your full boots online ASAP. The faster you can get those boots online, the better. Then you back up and grab those as soon as you can, and that's going to help out your farm and your ganking a ton. So I'm going to back up, and I am going to get the Ninja Tabi boot. I'm going to get myself a little bit of attack speed here. I like to get a little bit of that early attack speed on the Mercury. You don't have to. You can also go the Warrior Tabi. Different strokes for different folks. Honestly, it's not going to make a ton of difference in your overall build, but both of those boots are going to be viable for you. It can also depend on the exact build that you're going to run. If you're going to run a little bit more power cooldown heavy Mercury, maybe you go the Warrior Tabi. But if you're intending, like me, to go into that crit later on, having that attack speed just a little bit additional can be quite nice, especially if we go into like a 3rd item Rage or something to try to get that item stacking early. So at level 2, we grabbed our 3. This is our getaway skill. It is a dash that's going to grab people and throw them in the direction that we want them to. It goes through minions, but it stops on gods. You should know that this ability does throw, not dependent on the way that you start looking at somebody, but the way that you end looking. So if I dashed into the blue buff like this and it was an enemy god, I would actually have time to turn him around and throw him behind me if I wanted to. Think kind of like Heim ult, where you just can kind of throw them in any direction you want to, and that is quite important because we're oftentimes going to want to throw them back towards our team or into a wall or something to make the kill easier. Now I'm going to be looking towards this Thoth right here with my ultimate. I'm going to try to go all the way down the lane and get him. I don't actually hit him, but I do stop his dash with my 3 on the way back. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any follow-up there. If I would have hit him with the ulti, I probably would have actually had the kill right there. So I'm going to go into a Golden Blade just to help with my early game farm. Golden Blade is not an item that you have to buy on auto attack junglers right now, but it does make your farm a lot easier and a lot faster, which can help you keep up with those more ability-based junglers. So I am personally going to grab it here and focus a little bit more on the late game farming, where I think Mercury can really come into play if I can get there a little bit earlier. If you didn't want to, though, you could move right into a more PvP oriented item, something like a stone cutting sword or a Erendite would also do really well right here for just the straight PvP. For the level order, we're going to max out our ultimate whenever we can for the additional damage. We're going to grab our 1, then we're going to rank up our 2, and finally our 3. Ultimate's pretty straightforward, just damage. 1 is straightforward. Damage plus bigger circle means you hit it more often. Then we rank up our 2 because of the buffs. The 2 has a passive buff and an active buff. When you actually press it, you're going to gain attack speed. And you also cleanse yourself of slows, which is nice. Also important because it's relevant for your passive. And just passively, when you put points into this ability, you're actually going to get increased movement speed. So every time you put a point into it, you gain 2% more movement speed. Obviously good for ganking, and of course good for your passive for the additional damage. You don't have to actually activate it to get the use out of that. So my Ares has pulled some people middle. I'm going to try to ulti right through on this Capri, see if we can't grab a quick kill, and we're going to be able to snag that one. With Mercury on your ganks, typically, you don't actually want to gank like normal junglers do. The one big thing that you have going for you is that you can gank from positions that people can't really ward. And so you need to be utilizing that. So for the most part on Mercury, if your ultimate is down, you're just going to be farming. You're going to be running around the jungle, grabbing some farm. And if your ultimate comes up, that's when you start looking for ganks. And you want to be looking for ganks mostly through the lane. So you saw my first gank, I actually came from down in my own jungle, had it all charged up, and then came around. That is what you are looking for on the Mercury ganks. Because if I run up through the normal jungle path, this is all going to be warded. I'm probably going to get seen. They're going to back up. I'm not going to get any value. But if I gank from behind my tier 1 towers, there's no way they have that warded unless they're specifically warding there to counter Mercury, which at ultra high levels of gameplay will probably happen, especially if the Mercury becomes a problem. But anything below the highest levels of gameplay, that will absolutely not be an issue. Just gonna wait for this Cthulhu to kind of deform, then I'm just gonna dash right into him, turn him around so I can toss him into a wall, and we'll grab that kill while he's actually just in my arms right there. So I see that the Thoth is pushed up a little bit middle, but I need to get my speed buff here first. If Ares is looking like he's going to be able to get some chains on Thoth, I might be able to try to ulti through and look for him. Otherwise, I just want to go ahead and back up and get my Golden Blade, because that's really going to improve my farm right here. And then I'm going to go into a third item, Rage. I want to get it stacked early. And for anybody that's ever played Mercury, you know that for whatever reason, Mercury just has a higher crit chance than other gods. Hi-Rez will never admit to it, but I swear that Mercury has plus 10% crit chance once he actually has crit. And you'll just see, this is an unreasonable amount of crits for the low crit chance that you will have. But we're going to continue to just run through the jungle and wait for opportunities where we can see people and then ulti them through the lanes. Also, another reason why we get crit on Merc, I'm going to start channeling my ulti actually right now. Take a little gander at the Thoth here in the mid lane. I don't see him, so I'm going to keep backing out. But I'm just going to stick around for just a second to see my Ares is here. He's ready for a gank. So if this Thoth moves up at all, I'll be able to go through, looking for the ulti, hit him with the ult. There's the forced beads, that is fine. They actually have 3 people here. Now, this is a very aggressive play from the Ares, but we do burn the Thoth beads We get the Capriole, all sorts of good stuff. Thoughtful, and I'm just going to go right back to farming. I think that my Ares is probably just going to get ultied here by Suki, so I'm just going to try to zone him out as best I can. And that's still actually going to be an overall win for us. So, because our passive gives us additional damage from the movement speed, sometimes you see Mercury players only buy items with movement speed. That is not what you should be doing. It is definitely not the way to go. Items that have movement speed on them can be extra nice for you, you know? Like, yeah, we're gonna buy our boots anyway. Yeah, a nice little golden blade for some additional movement speed. It's gonna factor in with our passive, but you shouldn't just be thinking, okay, if it doesn't have movement speed, it's not a good item for me on Mercury. Another thing that you just saw me do right there with the Cthulhu is the god that was. Mercury's dash is almost instant cast. So when I press my 3, it almost instantly goes off, like no delay. Some gods have delays on their abilities. They have a little pre-fire timer that play audio cues. So the Cthulhu, his dash, once he starts it and it plays that audio cue, it takes the cooldown regardless as if you get interrupted out of it. So I just sat there waiting for him to dash, and then the second that I heard him dash, I popped my dash because mine is instant, and that takes his cooldown and interrupts him out of it, so he didn't get to use it at all. Now, depending on your ping, you may or may not be able to do that consistently. The higher your ping, the harder that is going to be able to do. I see that a fight is breaking out in the mid lane, so I'm going to start channeling my ultimate. I think I saw Thoth use his dash, so if I see a Thoth come out into lane, I'm going to take a gander. Capri goes ahead and dashes away, but I actually might be able to hit him with the very end of this ulti. Not going to be able to actually hit him with it, but I do get myself in range of the auto attacks. Now I see that a Huyi is coming towards me from the duo lane. So I'm going to just go ahead and run myself right back out of here. Try to clear these mid creeps, get my archers in range of this, and we actually might be able to take this mid tower as well. I do believe Huyi ran back over to the duo lane. Now we just go ahead and back it up. As soon as you can get your rage, always back up, finish the rage. Now we're going to get ourselves our beads and head back out. You can also get the beads first on Mercury, depending on the comp that you're against. You don't have a CC immune ultimate. So if I would have been like against an Ares this game, I would have had to have bought the beads as my first active instead of the blink. But I'm against a Suki. It's not like I'm going to buy an Aegis. So if I get hit by his ult, I get hit by his ult. Nobody else has any crazy abilities that I'm worried about getting dragged out of position. Maybe a Sobek, you try to get the beads or something. But because they didn't have any crazy CC, I felt like I could get away with the more aggressive blink.
Watch my trail.
Now, Thoth just dashed, but they've got 4 people right here. So if he tries to walk back in here, maybe I go for the grab. Nope. They've just got way too many people there, so I'm going to back out and keep going for my farm while I am waiting. For our matchups on Mercury, we don't like people that can make walls against Mercury. One of the most awkward things in the entirety of Smite that can happen to you as a Smite player is trying to Merkle, and then you get blocked off by like a Ymir wall or a Thor wall, and you just absolutely slam going a million miles an hour directly into a wall. It is super awkward, and it will hurt your character's feelings, and I promise it does not feel good. So you do not want to go against walls on Mercury. Now I forced the Thoth beads right there. I'm going to try to dash right into him. Unfortunately, I'm not going to land it. Now I'm going to be careful and just kill this Thoth, even though he's got the Capri ult on him, because I have a Suki coming this way. We force a Thoth beads. We force a Capri ult. That's still going to be an overall win for me right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right on out. So we don't want to go against walls. Obviously, slows are no problem for us because we can use our 2 to get out of slows. In general, we don't mind characters that have good getaway skills because of our ultimate, because of our 3, because we're going to have blink. Chances are we're going to be able to chase pretty much anybody down. as long as they do not have walls. And cripples are like medium annoying for us. I would say really the most annoying character for you is going to be like Ares. Ares, the cripple that stops your 3. You can still use your ulti because it's CC immune. So you could still get that off, but the fact that he has the cripple for your 3, plus he has the pull, which is annoying because your ultimate only gives you the CC immunity for a very, very small amount of time. There is a period of time, if you time it perfectly, where you can like avoid an Ares ult with Mercury ult because you can get out of, say, like I said, the cripple, right? Because there's this very small immunity of CC immunity, but it's actually pretty hard, and depending on your ping, it's not very reliable. Even top end players that try to use Mercury ult as the CC immunity tend to screw it up. But it is technically possible. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Right when you actually press it, you'll watch. I'm going to wait for this Ares ult to come through. Yoink. That moment in time, I'm just CC immune during that little actual charge up when I'm standing still. So you can try to utilize that to get you out of CCs. Now I gotta be very careful here because there is Stop Ult and Woojer. Oh my, so I'm just kind of chilling back right now. I'm in no rush. We're still forcing actives. I'm gonna call for the Gold Fury. Mercury, one of the best objective burners in the game. If you've gone the crit build, if you go crit on Mercury because of the 2 giving you that additional attack speed, and with your crit chance, you're gonna burn through objectives like crazy. Gold Fury, Fire Giant, Pyromancer, all gonna get wrecked by you. Phoenixes and stuff, not so much, because a lot of your damage is gonna come from those crits, and you can't crit a tower or a Phoenix, so you're not gonna be quite as good at shoving those as you necessarily are just like burning down the Fire Giant. So for my next item, I'm going to get myself into a Wind Demon. Wind Demon, just a natural item for Mercury. It's going to give me a little bit of attack speed, which is great for my crit chance. It's going to give me crit chance, which is nice, but more importantly, the passive. That passive is going to give me a little bit of physical pen, which is nice. We're going to combine that with the Boombas, have 20% pen, but it gives us 20% movement speed, and because of our passive, movement speed equals damage. So actually, when we grab that crit from our Wind Demon, we're actually going to increase the amount of damage that we're outputting, not just through our additional attack speed, but also through the literal damage increase that we're going to get because of our increase in our movement speed, which is very nice. Just makes it that much easier to kill the objectives. So now I'm going to back up. I'm going to grab that Wind Demon, and I'm going to get one of my favorite items here on Mercury last, and that is going to be an Erendite. Erendite is a very it's a pretty decent item overall in Smite, but on Mercury it has some pretty fun implications. So it gives us a bunch of power, right? We've got plenty of attack speed right now with our attack speed boots and our golden blade and our Wind Demon and all that, so we don't need any more attack speed, especially because right when we pop our 2, that's an attack speed stem, we'll be overcapping, so it's going to give us a bunch of power, which factors in well with our crits. But then after we ulti, it gives us that bonus movement speed, right, to chase down our enemies, which on Mercury just means that it's giving us actually a lot of damage. So I'm going to wait for this Woojer to jump. I'm just going to keep channeling my ultimate over and over again, kind of force out that jump, bait it out, and then I'm just going to run him down. Keep in mind, you can also right click to cancel out of that Mercury ulti after you start channeling it. You do not have to use it, and it is a great way to bait. Makes a nice loud sound effect. We freaked out the Woojer, forced him to use his jump, and then we can just walk up and kill him after I had missed my dash.
I'll defend right lane.
So the Erendite, nice power. The cooldown isn't super important to us, but when we move towards a target, we have that 30% movement speed, which gives us a huge power increase, which is going to factor in with so well with our crit and our passive. It's going to give us some nice thick crits if we get the full opportunity up. So I'm going to look for the Thoth gank here on the side, try to ulti myself into the wall, so that way I'm actually quite close to him. Try to hit him with a 1 for the crit. It is going to hit him, but it's not quite going to get the kill. Still going to be an overall win for me. Thoth beads for my ulti. That's a much longer cooldown for him. Now I'm going to run straight in on this Cthulhu. Ooh, actually, I gotta be careful because of that Hui ult. You don't have to be really afraid of Cthulhu on the Mercury. As long as you've got the crit and he doesn't have like a spectral armor. He does actually have a spectral armor, so I won't do quite as much damage to him as I would like to. But in general, you actually do a lot more damage than he is going to do to you in that situation, especially once we get our Boomba's hammer online, which I'm going to currently be waiting for. Level 19, I need the 1,500 gold for it, so I've already got the cash monies. At this point, I'm just waiting for that one more level, so that way I can finish the Boombas. The CDR in the Boombas is nice, and we're going to combine that with Erendite. So we're actually going to have 30% CDR, 40% if we grab ourselves a red pot. I know that Hui ult is down. I'm going to pop my 2. I'm going to run in on him, try to get some nice damage off. I'm kind of waiting for him to jump. Now, Hui is actually an interesting character for us to go against because he has the anti-crit passive built into his kit. He might try to land a spicy ricochet on me right here, but it's not gonna matter because they have a thought there. So that's actually an interesting talking point on the matchup here. He has a shell, right? They have 2 shells right now. Those shells are gonna become very problematic very quick. Hui also has the passive that gives him, he can only be crit once every 3 seconds, which makes him very good in the Mercury if you are going that crit build, which chances are if you're playing Mercury, you're going the crit build. Hui has that natural counter build into his kit that you only can crit him every 3 seconds. Plus, he's got crit, which means that he's going to out damage me pretty much every time, and especially if he has that shell up right there. I was hoping that my level advantage was going to be enough. Didn't help that I missed my dash, but it wouldn't have actually mattered because the Capri was there to help him out anyway. So here at the end of the game, I need to get this Boomba hammer online as fast as possible. And once I get this Boomba's online, I'm going to just start running around and trying to kill objectives as fast as possible. Gold Fury, that's my jam. Fire Giant, Pyromancer, these are all my jam. As soon as I can get it online, there we go. Grab the enhanced speed buff. Enhanced speed buff does matter for Merc. You gain extra movement speed. Extra movement speed just means extra damage. And now I can start to work on the actual Erendite. Don't try to spell Erendite. You'll never get it right. Just look for it. A. Is there a third A? Why is there a 4th A in Erendite? I'm heading over. I'm going to start chilling my ultimate a little bit early. I'm not really looking for Cthulhu right now as much as I'm looking for a different target. Thoth has dashed in. That's going to be my primary target. Not quite going to get the ulti on him, but I am going to be able to follow up with a dash. Now I'm going to turn around onto the back line and look for the Suki. He's the next easiest target for me to kill. I'm going to grab a couple of crits onto him. Get that 3rd stack on my rage. Gonna try to kick Hui and see if I can't get the passive proc on him. I did not. That is a Capri ult down, though, and he's kind of in an awkward spot, so I'm going to grab him to throw him into the wall, which should perfectly time to come out with my 3. And now we should be able to grab ourselves the Gold Fury again, and I've got myself a fully stacked Rage. Now, Capri has already used his pluck. I'm just going to blink right into him. He has used his Heavenly. I'm going to grab him and throw him a little bit behind me, a little bit towards my Tiamat. We should be able to grab this Capri and the Gold Fury. Now, at the very end of the game, if you want to sell your Golden Blade, you absolutely can. I sometimes keep it, depending on how the game is going. Especially if you're against, like, a Tiamat. Sometimes just being able to AoE down her minions and stuff is actually really beneficial. In this game, if it does go long enough, I probably won't keep it. I would probably transition it into a stone-cutting sword, give me some more raw power, which is going to stack really well with the crits. Plus, it's going to give me some flat pen, which is going to help me against the squishies. Grab myself a Sentry Ward, head back out towards the Fire Giant. Now, my goal in these team fights is to instantly kill somebody in the back line. Most of the time, that's going to be the Hunter and the Mage. This particular game, it's actually going to be the Mage and the Assassin. Hui, harder target for me to kill because of his passive. So I'm going to be looking for the Tsukiyomi and the Thoth, try to ulti through them, try to land right behind them, and then put them down. Quick note on Mercury ulti, if you can try to get it to land on a wall, that typically puts you right next to the target that you're going for. like I just did. I ultied, I landed right by Thoth, so that way I can turn around very quickly and kill him, and then try to get out. Now I'm gonna run back over here, going for the Woojer. We're gonna be able to grab that kill. I'm gonna grab the Suki, put him into the wall, so we can grab the kill, and then I'm actually gonna call for the attack right lane right now. We've got 5 of us up. We might not be able to go end the game, but what we can do is we can go get a Phoenix first and then come back around and get the Fire Giant if we feel like we haven't done it fast enough. If we do the Fire Giant first, we'll never make it to the Phoenix in time, but this time around we should be able to go ahead and grab this Phoenix. They're coming up in 10 seconds. They still got the tier 2 up. We should go back to the Fire Giant, play it safe, and go get it. If we maybe did it about 5 seconds faster, I say we can go for the end right there. Or even if we have the tier 2 tower down in the mid lane, so the Titan's a little bit squishier, maybe we go for the end. But we've got ourselves a nice lead right now. We've been winning these team fights. There's no reason for us to risk it with the Thoth coming up. Lord knows if anybody can turn a game around at the Titan. It's a big old 4-man Thoth ult, so there's just no reason to risk it. Now we back it up. We're gonna get our Erendite, rank up my beads, rank up my blink, and grab myself a red pot. Now I've got 40% CDR. I've got myself, how much crit chance do we got? 45, 65% crit chance, plus, you know, fake Mercury bonus crit chance of like an additional 10%. Look at that, crit, 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 crit. That was like what, 5 out of 6 crits? 60%, my butt, high res. And now at this point, we gotta shove it right down the middle lane, grab the T2, and we are into Phoenix fight territory. My standard combination on Mercury is gonna be ulting into whatever target that I'm fighting, preferably landing right by them by ulting myself into a wall is the easiest way to do it. Killing them with a quick auto attack or 2, and then using my dash to get out.
They may walk through here.
You traditionally want to use that dash to actually get out. If you don't have your ulti up, then chances are you're going to be blinking into the fight, going for those quick autos, and then trying to dash out in the later stages of the game. Now this Capri has got to be a little bit careful here.
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
I'm going to start split pushing up through the left lane. Split pushing on Mercury can be very effective because you're always in the team fight as long as you have line of sight. So like if we try to push through mid or something and I have my ulti channeled, I can just ulti right through on them. So my targets are still going to be this Thoth. I'm going to ulti right through because I see a nice path right through to the Thoth and the Woojer. Path right on through. Thoth has to use his dash. Woojer gets caught out. Now I'm looking for the Thoth in the backline. All I need is a couple of auto attacks and he'll be able to go down. We're not going to be able to catch him out, but we do get the Cthulhu. We do get the Woojer. I'm going to run over really quick and try to grab this mid Phoenix while we can. Lower the HP of the Titan even more. And now we should be able to attack the Titan and put this one away. Got my beads up, got everything up. We just got to watch out for the big Thoth play. Great Ares pull right there. Gonna force out all of their beads that were still up. And now we should be able to go ahead and put this one away. Like I said, at the end of the game, if you do want to sell your boots / golden blade, that's fine. Traditionally going to be replacing them with something like a stone cutting sword that gives you that power, movement speed, and pen. And of course, Blood Forge is a great item on Mercury at the end of the game. You can also get it a little bit earlier if you feel like you're dying too much. The Blood Forge gives you that shield / bonus movement speed after your kill, which gives you more damage, which gives you more opportunities for kills, which gives you more Blood Forge procs, and it's kind of a self-propelling cycle, guys, so it's always an item to keep your eyes on. And that is our Mercury, a jungle guide. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.